Hello everyone, my name is Shubham Sagar and today we have to do Medieval History Marathon PYQs from 2011 to 2025. So we'll be doing, art and culture will be included here in the medieval section as well. So before we talk about all these things, Chapandis, so first of all, let's start without wasting any time. Every second, every minute of yours is very, very precious. 2011 to 2025. I have already done ancient history plus art and culture PYQs from 2011 to 2025. You can have a look at it. My name is Shubham Sagar. You can connect with me on LinkedIn. This is my Telegram channel. I share, I do Hindu analysis every day, Monday to Saturday at 9 a.m. So I share those PDFs so you can join this Telegram group, if you have, if you want to follow current affairs. Cool, cool, cool. So let's start the discussion without wasting any time. Medieval history. Now, before we talk about medieval history, one thing which I should have talked about even in ancient history is the timeline part. See, guys, if I ask you right now, if you pause me right now, if I ask you, what is the timeline of ancient history, medieval history, modern history, most of you will be confused. Most of you would not be giving me the correct answer. So this is medieval history only. So, and here the reference frame which we are using is Upinder Singh. Upinder Singh ma'am, she wrote a book called Ancient and Early Medieval India. So she is telling the timeline because timeline varies from scholars to scholar. So again, ancient scholars to scholar. So ancient history, Stone Age to 750 AD. According to Upinder Singh ma'am. Upinder Singh ma'am is the daughter of Manmohan Singh, our former PM, awesome Delhi University professor. Stone Age to 750 AD is ancient history. Medieval age, now medieval history is divided into two parts. Early medieval India and then you have medieval India. So early medieval India is 750 AD to 1200 AD or just before Delhi Sultanate. So you can talk about 1206. And then you have medieval India from 1200 AD to 1757 AD. Now here there is a discussion whether it is 1757 or 1707. 1707 is the year when death of Aurangzeb happened, you know. So it varies. Some people believe after the death of Aurangzeb, modern history arrived. Some people believe after Battle of Palasi, 1757, modern history arrived. 1757 AD to 1947 AD, that is modern history, modern India, and after that you have post-independent India. Remember it, this is important. The chronology part is actually very important. If you read things in a chronological manner, things become much more easier for you to understand. Similarly, when you're reading about, ancient history, Chepandis, I like that word, guys, Chepandis. So ancient history, you will start from you will start from Stone Age, Paleolithic, Mesolithic, Neolithic period, and then Neolithic period, Mehergarh. After that, you have Chalcolithic age, then you have Harappan civilization 2600 to 1900 BC. Then you have Vedic period 1500 BC to 600 BC, early Vedic period, later Vedic period. Then you have emergence of Mahajanpadas. Then you have Mauryan period around 324 BC. Some will write 322, 321 BC to 185, 187 BC Mauryan period. Then you have post-Mauryan period, 2nd century BC to 3rd century AD, when post-Mauryan period and some amount of Mauryan period was going on in northern India. Sangam age was going on in southern India, 300 BC to 300 AD. And then after that you come to Gupta period, 320 AD to 550 AD. Dates sometimes vary according to different historians. The date of Gupta period, we know it from Al-Baruni's Kitabul Hind or Tahqiq-e-Hind. Remember this. After Gupta period, you have Harsha 606 to 647 AD. Then you have this early medieval period, 750 AD to 1200 AD. In the southern part, you will see Chola kingdoms, Pallavas, they are there. Pallavas were there even before 750 AD. Mahabalipuram, Mamallapuram, all these rock cut architecture they made. So when Cholas were ruling in southern India during this early medieval period, emergence of Rajputs happened in northern India in early medieval period. And then from 1200 AD, you talk about Delhi Sultanate 1206 to 1526 AD, and then Mughals came. So always keep things in mind. And whenever like this Delhi Sultanate and Mughals are going on, at the same time in southern India and central India, you have Vijayanagar, you have Bahmani Kingdom, then Deccan Sultanate. So, have an idea about all these things in chronological manner. Cool, cool, cool. With reference to Indian history, which of the following are the essential elements of a feudal system? So you have this particular question. So let's start. And let's start the discussion without wasting any time. And when we're talking about early medieval period, 750 to 1200 AD, 1200 AD rather, at that particular point of time, there was this concept of feudalism. Concept of feudalism was there earlier also, but this concept became very prominent during this early medieval period, guys, early medieval India. What is feudalism? So you have king, you know, you have king, and then you have, let's say, subjects. So if between king and subjects more and more intermediaries arise, they are known as feudal lords. More intermediaries, more weaker the king, because more people are dealing with these subjects. So these are feudal lords, and when king became weaker, these feudal lords became stronger and stronger. So feudalism can never be a feature of a very strong centralized political authority, because if the king is strong and like he has centralized his power, he will not allow these many feudal lords to flourish. So first is wrong. If you eliminate first, you're left with, always do option elimination, guys. Do smart work. So now you're left with 2 and 3, 3 only. Emergence of administrative structure based on control and possession of land. Yes, that's what happened a lot in early medieval period, because in early medieval period, Roman Empire, like it was said that decline of Guptas, the major reason for it was that decline of Indo-Roman trade happened because of the emergence of Hunas in Central Asia. So this decline in trade happened. Because of decline in trade, cash transaction reduced, and then people started transacting in land. Feudal lords, they had a lot of lands. People who used to work on those feudal lords, they were the tenants, sometimes they were the farmers, and that's how this administrative structure based on control and possession of land emerged. So second is correct. And lord vassal relationship. So this feudal lords, they were uh, acting as a lord of the subjects or the tenants, and in turn king was the lord of these feudal lords. So yes, lord vassal relationship was also there. The answer is B, 2 and 3. Wow, guys, please be serious. With reference to Indian history, now one thing which you have to understand when you will have a look at questions and medieval history questions, you will realize UPSC loves Mongols. They have asked a lot of questions on Mongols. Genghis Khan came from Central Asia, Mongolian region, grassland region. They did not have any much there. Grassland region, devoid of resources, and that's why they used to run here, there, everywhere. And they massacred a lot of people. First Mongol invasion in India happened during the reign of, so when you talk about Delhi Sultanate, so you have slave dynasty, which is also known as Mamluk, 1206 to 1290 AD. Then you have Khalji, 1290 to 1320 AD. These guys, they're important guys. So Khalji, then you have Tughlaqs, 1320 to 1414 AD. Then you have Sayyid, 1414 to 1451 AD. And then you have Lodhis, 1451 to 1526 AD. So during the period of this, they can even ask you, Mongolian invasion happened, first Mongolian invasion happened during which dynasty's rule? So in slave dynasty, there was the real, like the founder is Kutubuddin Aibak, but the real founder is said to be Iltutmish, who ruled from, because Kutubuddin Aibak died within 4 years of his reign. Iltutmish reigned from 1211 to 1236 AD, 25 years. And during his period, in 1221, first Mongol invasion happened. So first statement is wrong, right? So if you eliminate first statement, you're left with B and D. 2 only, 3 only. So now, Alauddin Khalji, he was there from 1296 to around 1316 AD. And during his period, Mongol assault happened. They attacked a lot of times in Gilji, Battle of Gilji, and so many things happened. So yes, second is correct. If second is correct, you can only choose 2 only or 3 only. So B is the answer. Muhammad bin Tughlaq, he was the ruler who was ruling from 1325 to 1351 AD. Sometimes it will be written 1326 to 1351. And during his period, there was a guy who came, Ibn Battuta, bagal mein juta. So Ibn Battuta came and he wrote Ibn Battuta. It's not Ibn Battuta, and he wrote a book called Rihla. So remember these facts, guys, they're important. Muhammad bin Tughlaq and Ibn Battuta, they had a love-hate relationship. They used to say, as Allu Arjun used to say in, there's a movie which in art, and you were not born at that time, Arya 2. I love you now, Pirya Dipoina. So Ibn Battuta, Rihla. So Muhammad bin Tughlaq, so he was like, in current day and age also, there are some leaders of different parts of the world who implement things and then they think, or who announce stuff and then they think how it will be implemented. Tughlaq was like that. So he was of the opinion that rather than allowing Mongols to come to us, we should go to their territory and ransack them. And for that, he gave 1 year advance salary to his soldiers, but then he realized that the idea is faulty. So no, Muhammad bin Tughlaq did not lose his territory, although there are debates and all those stuff, but it is said that he was more aggressive compared to other rulers. So the third statement is actually wrong, and the answer is B, 2 only. You see how many, like this, I showed you this question, particular question was asked in 2022, which we just saw, right? And then UPSC asked this question again in 2001. So history is more or less static, guys. And the more you solve these PYQs, the better you will be in solving questions in exam also. So Mongols under Genghis Khan invaded India during the reign of Iltutmish. Wow, very good. So that's what is written here. You can have a look at it. Then again, you see 2021. So 2022 again they asked questions on Mongol. 21 also they asked, 2001 also they asked. If I start searching more, I will get more questions. It was during the reign of Iltutmish that Genghis Khan reached the Indus. Yes, Genghis Khan in the pursuit of fugitive Khwarizm prince. He was the ruler of Central Asia, Khwarizm Shah. So that is correct. First is correct. So if first is correct, eliminate option. You don't need to check for third. Just check the second one. It was during the reign of Muhammad bin Tughlaq. We have just discussed Muhammad bin Tughlaq, 1325 to 1351 AD. Timur occupied Multan. Timur occupied or invaded India during a period of 1398 AD. So almost there is a gap, 47 years gap between the death of Muhammad bin Tughlaq and the coming of Timur. So second has to be wrong, right? So the answer is A, one only. And there is one kingdom, guys, which UPSC loves to ask questions on. What is that kingdom? The kingdom's name is Chepandis Cheputilsu Ledu Kadu. No. The kingdom's name is Vijayanagar Empire. UPSC loves to ask questions on Vijayanagar Empire. So one of the best source of Vijayanagar Empire is NCERT class 12 chapter 7. So revise that class 12 chapter 7 NCERT. It will help you a lot. Vijayanagar Empire. Sangam Saluva Tuluva Aravidu dynasty. Dev Roy II. He was a ruler of Sangam dynasty. And again, he died around 1446 AD. Vasco da Gama came in 1498 AD. So the answer, obviously, third is wrong. We don't need to check for third. We know that is wrong. But still, we are checking it because we are good boys or good girls, right? Oh, I'm a good boy. So I forgot what I was telling you. So yes, sir. Chepandis, sir. So it was during the reign of Dev Roy II. So third is wrong. And let me show you something. I will show you. So the answer is A1 only. And Dev Roy II died in 1446. Vasco da Gama arrived in 1498. All these rulers, whosoever you will see, like Harihar and Bukka, they are the founders of Vijayanagar Empire. Sangam dynasty. Again, what people do, guys, because you have to understand this. One thing which I also used to see in my time was people used to read them in silos. These things, these rulers, they used to read them in silos. Don't do that. Club them together. Club them together means, like, think when this thing, Sangam dynasty is going on, Vijayanagar Empire was established. Who was ruling in the north? The answer is Tughlaq. Who else? MBT. 1325 to 1351. I told you. Muhammad bin Tughlaq. So because of the policies of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, you will see Vijayanagar Empire getting established in 1336 by Harihar and Bukka. And not only this, in 1347, Hassan Gangu, he will establish Bahmani kingdom. 13 again during the reign of MBT. So you can see people were frustrated by MBT's rule, just like some people are frustrated today due to some ruler's rule who will announce stuff and then they will realize, oh, this is not feasible. Okay, guys. So Harihar too. Now you see these rulers. Dev Roy I, he is also a very important ruler. 1406 to 1422 because he made a lot of tanks and canals. Tungabhadra River. This particular Vijayanagar Empire was based on Tungabhadra River. Hampi was the capital. Hampi was named after Pampa Devi, Devi Parvati. Pampa Devi is the name of Parvati. So Hampi. Initially, Vijayanagar rulers were Shaivites. Later on, they became Vaishnavite. So all these things happened. There was a tussle between Shaivites and Vaishnavites, Alvas and Nanas. All these things used to happen. So Prapanna Amritam is a book which tells you about all these stuff. So Dev Roy I, very important, he built tanks and canals. UPSC has asked PYQs. Now we have seen Dev Roy II. These are important rulers. Don't just focus on Krishna Dev Roy of Tuluva dynasty. You have to focus on Tuluva Narsanaika, who was his father, Veera Narasimha Roy, who was his elder brother, Achyut Dev Roy, who was his younger brother, Alia Rama Roy, who was the son-in-law? I think so. So Alia Rama Roy of Krishna Dev Roy. Son-in-law or brother-in-law? Do tell me in the comment section. So Alia Rama Roy, he is the one who is responsible for Battle of Talikota, which happened, in which these Deccan Sultanate, they ransacked Vijayanagar Empire. So all these things are very important. These rulers, they are very important. You have to go through them multiple number of times. They are very important. Vijayanagar, UPSC loves to ask questions on Vijayanagar. Kulha Daran, with reference to Indian history, which of the following were known as Kulha Daran? Sayyids. So we have talked about the chronology of Delhi Sultanate rulers. Sayyids 1414 to 1451. It is said that they were associated with Prophet Muhammad's daughter, and that's why even when Timur, he invaded in 1398, Sayyids were there. They were working under different dynasties and he did not kill them and this and that. So he also left them because he felt like they were the descendants of Prophet. They used to wear pointed caps, which are known as kulha. So that's why they're called as Kulha Daran. Kulha Daran. Pointed cap kulha, and they were known as Kulha Daran during Delhi Sultanate. So remember these facts and figures and become a very good boy or very good girl. So you see Mamluk dynasty, which is also known as slave dynasty. Founder Kutubuddin Aibak 1206 to 1210. Then you have Iltutmish 1211 to 1236. Then you have Razia Sultan 1236 to 1240, and then a period of anarchy between 1240 to 46. Then you have Nasiruddin Mahmud, who was the son of Iltutmish, who became the ruler from 1246 to 1266. But in reality, Balban was the one who was calling the shot. He was a part of Corps of 40, Turkane Chehelgani, and then he became, he married his daughter to Nasiruddin Mahmud, and then he was virtually ruling, and then he started directly ruling from 1266 to 1287 AD. So remember these facts and figures and become a really good boy, guys. Guys. So see, the thing is, we cannot be too serious. We have to keep it light-hearted, and that's what I'm trying to do. So Balban, and then Balban daughters, like son and grandson, they were killed, and then Khalji dynasty was established by Jalaluddin Khalji, and then Jalaluddin Khilji was killed by Alauddin Khilji. He ruled for 20 years, and then till 1316, and then some, again, these things, intrigues used to happen. By 1320 the reign ended, and then Tughlaqs came into picture, and then you have your Muhammad bin Tughlaq 1325 to 51, Firoz Shah Tughlaq after that 1351 to around 1389. After the reign of Firoz Shah Tughlaq, the Tughlaq dynasty also declined. Then see here, there is one dynasty which is missing here, and that's why this dynasty is crying, and they're saying that this is humiliation, we cannot tolerate it. I love you now, Piryadi Poina. No. So who is facing demoralization here? Sayyids, 1414 to 1451. And then you have Lodi, Behlol Lodi, Sikandar Lodi, Ibrahim Lodi, Behlol Sikandar Ibrahim, BSI. Remember this, important. Cool. When you solve these PYQs, you realize which are the kingdoms, which are the dynasties which are actually important, which are the dynasties which you have to focus a lot on, guys. So yeah, now let's focus on Nagara style, Dravida style, Vishra style. Nagara, Dravida and Vishra are three main styles of Indian temple architecture. Nagara style, and they had variants also. You have Shikhra, Vimana, all these are fine things, but Vishra is a combination of Nagara and Dravida. And then in Nagara, like, you have Kalinga style of architecture, right? And it's like when you talk about Nagara architecture, so let's say you enter into a temple. So before you enter, let's say you are entering from here, so there'll be something called as Mandapa. When you enter into Mandapa, you may have multiple Mandapas, Ardha Mandapa, Mukhya Mandapa, and then you will come into Garbhagriha. Garbhagriha is known as Sanctum Sanctorum. Sanctum Sanctorum, where your main deity is kept. So remember these terms, they are important. Garbhagriha, and here above it you have Shikhra and Dravida, Vimana, etc. So Mandapa, Garbhagriha, what these terms are. And then in Kalinga style of architecture, these Mandapas, they are known as Jagmohanas. And they had this Duela architecture, Pietra Duela, etc. Duela architecture, Shikhras were basically known as Duelas. So remember these facts and figures. It varied. Nagara style, they had different components. In UP region, etc., they were using sandstone. When it comes to West Bengal, etc., they were using clay there. So it varied. And in West Bengal, you have this hut-like architecture, a variant of Nagara. And similarly, in Dravida style, you have Vimanas, you have tank architecture, you have Gopurams, that is tanks they used to have in the temples, because southern India, peninsular region, little bit water scarcity. And then in Dravida, you have Gopurams, very large Gopurams, which are known as gateways. So all these things are really important. And then Visera is a combination of both Nagara and Dravida. So you have Chalukyas, who were the proponents of Vishra style. You have Ahiol, Badami, these regions you can see Vishra style. Guys. So C is the answer. Next question, with reference to Chaunsat Yogini temple. Chaunsat in Hindi means 64. Chepandi, Chepudu. So with reference to Chaunsat Yogini temple situated near Morena, it is a circular temple built during the reign of Kachapa Ghata dynasty. You may feel like, sir, there are so many temples, how we will remember all these facts and figures? The point is, you don't have to do that. You just have to follow current affairs, guys. When you follow current affairs, you realize which dynasties are important, which are not, and which temples are in use. Like currently I'm making 50 most important current affairs. There I'm covering art and culture. Art and culture society, 50 most. So there you will see there are certain things which are in news. Like I will tell you, Hool Divas. Hool Divas is in news. Santhal Rebellion, Hool Divas is in news. So you have to do that. Then, you know, Rath Yatra happened in West Bengal, like Odisha. People died there. So Rath Yatra became, you know, it is in news, so you have to read about it. Then Bhakti movement was in news. Varkari, Dharkari tradition in Maharashtra, it was in news. So you have to read about it. You can go through my 50 most important current affairs on art and culture and society. You will understand. So Chaucer Yogini Temple, why UPSC asked questions in 2021? Because at that time, Indian Parliament building, those news were in, like, you know, it was in news. New Indian Parliament building was getting built, and they got inspired from Chaucer Yogini Temple. It is a circular temple, but it is not the only circular temple. Let me show you. So you see, this is Chaucer Yogini Temple. And generally, when you talk about, you know, evolution of Nagara style and all, the the precursor of Nagara style is Panchayatan style. Panchayatan style also UPSC has already asked PYQs, guys. So Panchayatan style means what? You have one main shrine and you have 4 subsidiary shrines. You know, like when you people were kid, and if you're still kids, so, you know, first of all, your mother will take you. If she's taking you to a temple, she will go to the main shrine, and then she will take you to these subsidiary shrines, and then she's like, wear your sandals and let's go home. Wear your sandals, let's do party. Okay, so guys, give me shine, let's play holy. Guys, so yeah. So yeah. So, you know, there is a concept. Monotheism, believe in one God. In India, like, in what India, Islam, Christianity, etc., monotheist religion. Polytheism, believe in multiple gods, Hinduism. And then you have Cathenotheism, you know, Cathenotheism, which was given by Max Muller. Cathenotheism concept means believe in multiple gods, but at different times, different gods will become supreme. Like in Diwali, your, you know, Lakshmi Mata is supreme. In Durga Puja, your Kali Mata is supreme. So that is Cathenotheism. Because, so Hinduism is both polytheism as well as Cathenotheism. You can see this. Panchayatan style is a reflection of that Cathenotheism. This main shrine is the main god. These are the subsidiary gods at different occasions. So you have these Panchayatan style before Nagara style came into picture. And the earliest evidence of temple construction in India, you find it during Gupta period. Before Gupta period, there's no temple construction evidence, guys. So keep it in mind. We have already done it in ancient history marathon, where we have discussed all the PYQs of ancient history. They said that during you know, Harappan period, you had these temples. No, you did not. So that is actually wrong. So keep these points in mind and become a very good boy or very good. Okay. So what we were discussing. So this Chaucer Yogini temple. So we were talking about Panchayatan style, precursor of Nagara style. And then when these Nagara style, etc., they emerged, so their base was generally rectangular or square. Circular was very rare. So that's why circular temples become very rare. But it's not like this Chaucer Yogini temple, which is located near Morena. It is the only circular temple. There are other circular temples, but they are very rare. So second is wrong. If you eliminate second, you will directly get the answer. 1 and 4. It has given rise to the inspiration behind Indian Parliament building. That is actually correct. But then many people also ask this particular question, you know, why you have these parliament, you know, you spend so much money on these parliament buildings when all the time you have adjournment, sign die, prorogation, dissolution, they don't meet enough. It does. I hope you're understanding where I'm going with this. Although Modi sir is here, Modi hai to mumkin hai, and many people believe he is the incarnation of Vishnu, so I will not say anything on that. C is the answer, guys. This is Chaucer Yogini temple, and it is in Morena district, 40 kilometers from Gwalior, built during 14th century AD. Now, when we say 14th century AD, people are like, what is 14th century AD? 13012 to 1400 AD. That is 14th century AD. People get confused in these things, guys. Kachapa Ghata King Devapala. And here it's not about Vaishnav cult, it's about Parvati Mata, it's about Shaivism. So it is not promoting Vaishnava cult, Shaiva cult. And remember this, like, you know, you people talk about, when you read ancient history, you talk about Brahmanical supremacy, and you talk about that 6th century BC, Buddhism, Jainism, etc. emerged as reaction to Brahmanical supremacy. It's not like Hinduism was facing competition from Buddhism, Jainism, etc. Around 64 heterodox sects emerged during 600 BC. That's fine. The point here is competition is not only between Buddhism or was not only between Buddhism, Hinduism, Jainism. Within Hinduism Sufism also, there was a competition between Shaivites and Vaishnavites, Alvars and Nayanas. So remember these facts, they're actually important. And that's why when we talk about Vijayanagar Empire, we say that initially, they were Shaivites, Virupaksha temple. Later on, they became Vaishnavites, Vitthal temple. So remember these terms and these temples and the whole thing which we know about it in a text called Prapanamritam. So competition was happening anywhere and everywhere. How will you remember Alvars and Nayanas, which are Shaivites, which are Vaishnavite? There is a easy trick also here. Nayanas, Nayan means eyes. Which of the gods shows third eye? Shiva, right? Lord Shiva. So Shaivites. Nayanas, Shaivites. Alvas, Vishnu. So hope you are understanding, Vishnu worshippers. So hope you are understanding how you will remember. This is just a cheat code. You can use it if you want to. You use it. Cool. Che pandis. Che putel sule dukkadu. Now let's do another discussion. See, I'm not Shankar Mahadevan, so sometimes I do take pause, and I'm doing that right now. Questions on Bhakti and Sufi movement. So the concept of Bhakti is very old, guys, very old concept. And it is there in Bhagavad Gita, the concept of Bhagavatism. So what does that concept of Bhagavatism means? That your Bhaga, whatever is like the basic concept there is, the Bhaga of your God will become your Bhaga. Whatever is the faith of your God, whatever God you believe in, that will become your faith. So the concept is very old, but this Bhakti movement, it became very popular during early medieval India. Shankaracharya, he popularized it. He popularized it because at that time, during early medieval period, Buddhism, Jainism were gaining foothold in southern India. There is a series which I always tell people to watch, which is known as Bharatik Khoj. You can watch it in your free time if time permits. Bharatik Khoj, awesome series, guys. So there, it's based on Discovery of India by Jawaharlal Nehru. It's chronological. When you watch series videos in a chronological order, you remember stuff in a much better manner. So there, they have talked about a Bhakti saint Appar and how he was facing competition from Buddhist and Jaina scholars and priests and all. So yeah, Shankaracharya, he is the one who popularized Bhakti movement by philosophy known as Advaita Vedanta. Advaita Vedanta, non-duality. So there are basically two concepts which you hear a lot in Bhakti movement: Atman and Brahman. Atman is my soul, Atman is individual soul, Brahman is universal soul. Individual soul, universal soul. So basically he's saying that Atman is a part of Brahman. That means Atman is my soul and Brahman is universal soul or your God's soul. So when I say that Atman is a part of Brahman, I say that I am a part of God. That means God resides in each one of us. So this concept became very popular. And that's why Swami Vivekananda sir, who is a great proponent of Advaita Vedanta, he says that service of Jiva is worship of Shiva, Advaita Vedanta. Then there is Dvaita Vedanta, that no, Atman and Brahman, they are distinct. Vishishta Advaita, there are different types of philosophies which are there. You can revise them. And then this emerged in early medieval India. Sufism came later on, and the emergence of Delhi Sultanate played a crucial role in the emergence of Sufism. So just like Bhakti movement is trying to address competition or is trying to revive Hinduism, it is also reaction against Brahmanical supremacy. It is saying that God is available to all. Same way Sufism is also reaction against different kind of practices which emerge within Islam, orthodox practices, and they are saying that there are different ways of approaching Allah. Yes, in Sufi Dargah, Hindu people, all of us go, but don't mix it and don't get uh, confused by that fact. Sufism is a part of Islam. You have to remember it, but it's not a very orthodox type of Islam, just like you have Wahhabi Islam. No. So Sufism, they say that there are certain things which are sometimes forbidden in certain sects of Islam. You cannot sing this and that. Sufism is like sing Qawwali, do this. There are different ways of reaching Allah or speaking to Allah. So meditation, control of birth, severe ascetic exercises, recitation of holy song, everything they believed in. And the answer here is D1, 2 and 3. They became very popular during the time of Delhi Sultanate. There are different types of silsilas in Sufism. Chistis, like according to Abul Fazl Aini Akbari, he said there were around more than like 10, 15 plus silsilas, but the silsilas which became very famous in India, again, within Sufism also, there were different branches, which are known as silsilas. Like ye silsila hai pyar ka, silsilas. So out of those silsilas, Chisti silsila, Suhrawardi silsila, they became very popular. Chisti, Moinuddin Chisti and all. Cool. So D is the answer for this particular question, guys. Now, if you see this particular question, consider the following Bhakti saints: Dadu Dayal, Guru Nanak, Tyagaraja. So, whenever you're seeing these questions, but in Bhakti movement, there are two concepts, guys. One is Nirguna Bhakti. There are many concepts, like two very famous concepts we are talking about. Chepades. Two very and again, guys, one thing I want to tell you. Sometimes what happens, you may feel like, oh my god, the voice is less when we are watching it on, like without earphone and all. You can use earphone. In earphone, the voice will be awesome. I'm using Boya microphone. The quality is awesome. So sometimes that can happen. But yes, if you're using earphone, there will be no issue whatsoever in any video, whatever you're watching. Cool, 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 cool. I'm just taking a pause because, I sometimes become like Shankar Mahadevan. Just give me a second, guys. So here you see, who among the following was preaching when Lodi dynasty fell and Dadu and Babur took over? So when you talk about Bhakti movement, there are two concepts, very prominent concept: Nirguna Bhakti and Shaguna Bhakti. Nirguna and Shaguna. So Nirguna Bhakti is God without attributes. God without attributes. And then you have Shaguna Bhakti, God with attributes. So these facts, keep in mind, like God with attributes, when we are representing Vishnu, God, Lord Vishnu, Lord Shiva, in anthropomorphic form, in human form. So this is Sagun Bhakti, God with attributes. What is Nirgun Bhakti? God without attributes. Like when we talk about Guru Nanak Ji, when you see, how Guru Nanak Ji is represented, he is represented like a Prakash Punj. What is Prakash Punj? A row of light, or a bright flame of light. You won't see him in any human form, right? So that he promotes Nirgun Bhakti, God without attributes. So remember these facts. Dadu Dayal is also a proponent of Nirgun Bhakti. They're asking, when Lodi dynasty failed, Lodi dynasty failed in 1526 AD. That happened when Babur defeated Ibrahim Lodi in first BOB battle of Panipat. 1526, Babur defeated Ibrahim Lodi. But he was very much mesmerized by the valor of Ibrahim Lodi, and that's why he buried him in Panipat only. Although Ibrahim Lodi was a very, a guy who had so much temper issues and all. You can watch Bharati Coach, you will thank me later. So, Babur's reign is 1526 to 1530. When we talk about Guru Nanak Ji, so his period is 1469 to 1539 AD. So yes, he was a contemporary. It is said that Babar even met Guru Nanak Ji once. So Guru Nanak Ji will be there. So if Guru Nanak Ji will be there, you eliminate one. You are left with BCD. Still the question is tough. Dadu Dayal, his time period approximately is from 1544 AD to 1603, approximate. So again, Babar is already dead in 1530. So obviously when Babur took over, Dadu Dayal was not there. He came 14 years after Babur died. So first is wrong. So if you eliminate first, you are left with B and C. 2 only, 2 and 3. Tyagaraja, he's a Carnatic music proponent, and he also, but of 18th or 19th century, Tyagaraja. So he came much later. So third is wrong. So the answer is B, 2 only. This is the answer. Tough question, guys. This is not at all an easy question. Dadu Dayal, Nirgun Bhakti proponent, and again, he believed in something called as Japana. Even today, you see, our older parents, grandparents, they do Naam Japna, something like that. Dadu Dayal ji, he talked about that Naam Japna, and he believed that that was a good way of, again, rituals and sacrifices are not the only way of reaching or praying. There are different ways. Naam Japna is one. So and he was, I think, we'll talk about it. He was born in Gujarat, but he spent most of his time in Rajasthan. Dadu Dayal, Dadu Panth, his followers are known as Dadu Panth. He's very much inspired by the teachings of Kabir. Guru Nanak Ji, Kabir is not Kabir Singh of Shahid Kapoor. So Guru Nanak Ji, born 1469, Babur defeated. You can see all these things. Babur once met Guru Nanak Ji during one of his travel. Remember all 10 Sikh Gurus, guys? So the teachings of first 5 Sikh Gurus, it is there in Adi Granth Sahib. First 5 Sikh Gurus. Guru Granth Sahib is teaching of all 10 Gurus. You have to understand the difference between Adi Granth Sahib, Guru Granth Sahib. Pardon my doctor-like handwriting. Guru Granth Sahib, all 10 Sikh Gurus. And then the 11th Sikh Guru is also Guru Granth Sahib, because Guru Gobind Singh Ji, who was the 10th Sikh Guru, he ended the Pratha of Guru. He felt like it could be misused. So 10 Sikh Guru's teachings. So Guru Granth Sahib became the 11th Sikh Guru. the last Sikh Guru. So remember these facts and figures, they're important. Dadu Dayal, his teachings you will see in Sikhism text, and again, he inspired a lot of people. Dadu Dayal, 1544 to 1603. So he is contemporaneous with Humayun and Akbar. Remember this fact, that is actually important. So Babur we have already seen, 1526 to 1530, and Humayun is 1530 to 1540, and then 1555 to 1556. Remember these dates and facts and figures, they're actually very important. Akbar is from 1556 to 1605 AD. Cool. Dadu Dayal, contemporary of Humayun Akbar, you can see here. Compassionate one, he believed in, they can give you, he believed in Nirgun Bhakti or Shagun Bhakti, cotton cleaner, born in Ahmedabad, and spent most of his time in Rajasthan. Remember this, if UPSC has asked questions, so on him, so he becomes important, like he is anyway important, but we are saying from exam perspective, he's very important. So why we are seeing Simba here? Because his, Thamba. So you see, his ashrams, the ashrams which were set up by the followers of Dadu Dayal, who were known as Dadu Panthis, it was known as Thambas. So how you can remember Thamba with Simba? So Dadu rejected the Vedas and all, caste division and all, and he's like, do the focus on jap, Naam Japna, Ram Naam Japna Paraya Mal Apna. That means I will do the jap of my God and I will take other people's money. No, don't do that. People, they do all kind of sins and then they take dip in holy water, which is not at all holy these days. Ganga is very polluted, and they feel like the all sins have been cleansed. Don't do that. Why are you doing sins? Why do you need cleansing? Don't do sins, man. So yes, Thambas, ashrams of Dadu Dayal followers abstain from drinking and follow vegetarianism. This is stuff. I also eat chicken. Oh my god, but what can I do? Guys, let's focus. Tyagaraja, he was one of the options. He is a composer of Carnatic music, devotional compositions in Telugu, praise of Lord Rama. Telugu, Arya 2. Mr. Perfect, perfect, Mr. Perfect. Allu Arjun. Indesi Gudduku Rani. Telugu, there is other song. Nunte Nizamega Satyam, Nunte Nizamaga Satyam. Then, I love you now, Piriyadi Poina, I love you, Pradam Poina. And again, Pancharatna Kritis, 5 of his compositions, which are often sung in programs in his honor. So, have a look at these images. The more you see them, you have to look at them. These images, Tyagaraja, Dadu Dayal, like you look at the images of Monica Bellucci, Angelina Jolie, Chepandis, no Chepandis. Question on caves of India. So again, when you talk about caves, revise all the important caves. Barabar caves, one of the oldest caves. I don't know how much you can see it here, all the, like, go in a chronological manner. Barabar caves during the period of Ashoka, he built it for Ajivika sect, I think. And then again, Ajanta caves started in Shatwana period, built during, most of them built during Vakataka period. Very important, Ajanta. Then you have Ellora, Ajanta, mostly Buddhism, Ellora caves, all three phase, Buddhism, Hinduism, Jainism, Elephanta caves, this Elephanta name given by Portuguese, Badami caves. Then you have, like, these are important caves, guys, which you have to keep in mind, which you have to revise a lot. Guys, let's focus. So with reference to history of Indian rock cut architecture, consider the following statement. Caves at Badami are the oldest surviving rock cut caves. Barabar rock cut caves were originally made for Ajivikas by Emperor Chandragupta Maurya. At Ellora, caves were made for different faiths. So when you're seeing this question, you have to revise. What is the answer, guys? Chepandes? Cheputal Ledu? Kadu. Just give me a second. So if you see this, Badami caves are not the oldest surviving rock caves. Barabar Nagarjuni rocket caves, they are the oldest. So first is wrong. So you're left with B and C. So third, you don't need to check. At Ellora, yes, there are caves for different faiths. Buddhism, Hinduism, Jainism. Kailashnath temple at Ellora, rock cut architecture, monolithic rock cut architecture. Monolithic. What have I written? Oh my god, look at that handwriting. And as Nicki Minaj would say, but you people don't have to watch Nicki Minaj, those are for adult people, you are less than 18. So monolithic rock cut architecture. How is monolithic rock cut architecture, Kailashnath temple at Ellora, is different from normal architecture? See, when you make any temple, normal temple, so you do, you start from top to bottom. top to bottom. You do construction like this. But in the case of rock cut architecture, monolithic rock cut architecture, you have a big rock and you do cutting from like top, oh my god, top to bottom. You go here. So you have a big rock and you do kutur, 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 kutur. So you will do kutur, 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 and then you will keep on carving things on that particular rock, and that's how you make monolithic rock cut architecture. So unlike normal temple construction, etc., which happens like what have I written here? So bottom to top. On the other hand, monolithic rock cut architecture, they're made top to bottom. Remember these facts. So you have Kailashnath temple, Hinduism, which is a monolithic rock cut architecture. So first is wrong. Barabar caves, so first is wrong. Barabar caves were not made for Ajivikas by Chandragupta Maurya, Ashoka was the one predominantly who made these caves, so that is wrong. Second is wrong, so the answer is C3 only at Ellora, yeah. So Chandragupta Maurya, Jainism, follower of Jainism, his son Bindusara, I love you Bindusara, he is a follower, I think, Ajivikas. And then Ashoka, he was a follower of Buddhism. You see, so grandfather of Ashoka, who was Chandragupta Maurya, he was following Jainism. Father was following Ajivika, and the son is following Buddhism. Wow, what a great example of secularism in our country, guys. Chepandis, guys. Chepodazu ledu. Kadu, guys. Guys, let's be serious. So what are we saying? What was I saying? I forgot. So, yes, sir. You know, I'm becoming old, guys. Taking long. You people may realize that, sir, you look like Keanu Reeves. I don't, but yeah, I. We should have some fun. Why should other people have all the fun? So yes, sir. Let's focus. Let's focus. Enough of the jibber jabber. So the answer here is C3 only. And also remember these facts and figures. Buddhism, Jainism, we always read about them. Ajivikas, Charvaka school is also known as Lokayat. What are their philosophy, Charvaka or Lokayat? So Charvaka and Lokayat, their philosophy is like very materialistic. They believe that the purpose of life is enjoyment. For that, even if even if you have to take loan and enjoy life. That is what Charvaka school says. Ajivika school, they say that everything is preordained. Niyati, we call it. Preordained means everything is already written. If it is written that you will become an IS officer, you will become an IS officer. So you don't have to worry too much about it. If it is in your faith, you will become an IS officer, guys. Blah, blah, blah. So yeah, everything is preordained. That is what Ajivika school believed it. You may feel like this philosophy is so it can, like, if you think from your perspective, if I have to become an IS officer, I will become an IS officer, then you will not study. No, think from this perspective. Let's say somebody has to go to war tomorrow and he can die, he may die, he may not die. Now if he feels too much about, or if he's too afraid about death, he may not go. But if he's a follower of Ajivika philosophy, he will feel that everything is preordained. If I have to die, I will die on the war field. If I have to die tomorrow, I will die on the war field. If I'm here, I will die, or maybe some truck will run over me. I'm just saying. So that is the benefit of Ajivika school. You don't think too much about the consequences or the result. You just focus on doing your duty honestly. That's what Ajivika school says. Everything is preordained. This helps people who are warriors. This helps people who are entrepreneurs. So entrepreneurs, they may feel like, oh my God, whether this big business will become successful, I will lose money or what. Now, Ajivika school, according to this preordained theory, if you have to lose money tomorrow, you will lose money tomorrow. Maybe you will lose money by investing in business, or you will lose some other way. So just do your duty. You see, what is the benefit of Ajivika school? So it's not like many people like it promotes laziness. Everything is already written, preordained. Everything, let's say it is written, you will become an IS officer, but if you don't study at all, you will not become an IS officer, right? So yes, you have to study. It's just that they tell you don't to focus on the consequences. Like, let's say me, I'm working on my channel, etc. So again, initially I did not thought how many subscribers I will get, 500, 600. I was happy with that. So you keep on doing things. Now this channel has more than, I don't know, more than 5 lakh views and all, whatever. And small channel, I'm working on my own, I'm doing my own things. So things happen. If you don't think too much about consequences, you do your own stuff, so many things happen. So basically that is the benefit of Ajivika school. You don't think about the consequences, you do your duty. And something, if it has to happen tomorrow, it will happen by one way or the other. Let's solve this particular question. And when you solve these questions, ancient, medieval, modern, you must be getting a particular trend. What are the things which are important? What are the things which you have to focus on? Like if you see this question, Ajanta. If you remember, Ajanta we talked about even in the ancient history. When we're talking about ancient history, there also we have talked about Padmapani. We have solved that question. You can revise that ancient history marathon thing also. So grand image of Buddha's Mahaparinirvana with numerous celestial musicians ever when the sorrowful figures of his followers below. So yes, that image is there. It's Buddhism is predominant like theme in Ajanta caves. Started during Satvahana period. Most of the caves were built during Vakataka. Please remember, they can even give you that most of the Ajanta caves were built during Vakataka period. That is actually correct. Vakatakas. Huge image of Varaha Avtara. I was doing this. I think people. This Varaha Avatar, Bor Avatar is there in Udayagiri caves. Now people not Mount Abu, Udayagiri caves. So second is wrong. If second is wrong, you eliminate second, you're left with B and C. Now this Udayagiri caves is different from Udayagiri Khandagiri caves. There is Udayagiri Khandagiri caves, which is there in Odisha. That Udayagiri Khandagiri caves associated with Khadavela and who was a Kalinga ruler, and Jainism is the predominant element there. Udayagiri caves, Hinduism. So you hope you can understand. Don't compare Udayagiri caves where Varaha Avatar is there with Udayagiri Khandagiri caves of Odisha. They are two different things. So second is wrong. Arjuna Pinna's descent of Ganga, Mamallapuram, Mahabalipuram, and they are known for rock cut architecture. Pallava rulers, Narsimvarman I, Narsimvarman II, all these rulers, they were the ones who played a crucial role in this rock cut architecture. So UPSC, when you see these questions, you get an idea that okay, these are the areas, these are the things which are actually important, and I have to focus on this. So what I was saying, I forgot. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So the answer is second is wrong, right? Second eliminated. Third is correct. So the answer is C1 and 3 only. Whoa, Chepandis. What is our common to the two historic? See, Ajanta, Mahabalipuram. You are getting a trend, guys. What are the areas which you have to focus on? What are the places which are actually very important from exam perspective? Chepandis. So, again, just give me a second. I'm just taking a pause. You see this question, you try to solve this question. This should be a pattern. That when you're seeing these questions, you should pause me and you should try to solve it on your own and then unpause me. Ajanta. We talked about Satvahanas, Vakatakas. So Satvahanas were there in, before like Christ. So Ajanta is much older than Mahabalipuram, Mamallapuram, Pallava architecture, which happened, after 5th, 6th century AD. So they were not both built in the same period. First is got option elimination worked. Now you're left with B and D. Just check the third one. Both have rock cut monuments. That is correct. So the answer is B3 only. Both belongs to same religious denomination. No, Ajanta predominantly Buddhism. And this Mahabalipuram, descent of Ganges and all, predominantly Hinduism. So remember these facts and figures. So the answer is B3 only. Generic questions. With reference to economic history of medieval India, the term Araghatta refers to, it has been mentioned in NCERT also, so you can have a look at NCERTs as well and become a very good boy, a very good girl. These are water wheels which you're supposed to be, or which are used in the irrigation of land. Just give me a second. Let me show you how Araghatta, and UPSC has asked questions on Araghatta in 2025, and that's why you should solve questions. You should revise these. This is Araghatta. This is water wheel. So it used to rotate. You see these? When it rotates, so these things go down, they get filled with water, and then they come up. Araghatta. So water wheel used in the irrigation of land, that is Araghatta. So if you have solved this question, then you'll be able to solve. Otherwise, there's so many irrigation devices. This is the prelims 2025 question, guys. The irrigation device called Araghatta was what it was. It was a large wheel with earthen pot tied to the outer end of its spokes. Again, let's have a look at Araghatta. Large wheel with these, things which are pots which are tied to the outer end. So the answer is B. Like, share, and subscribe, guys. Spread the word. If I'm adding something to your knowledge base, you can always donate at this particular number. If you want this particular PDF, you can send me a message at the same number. Cool. Let's see some questions on Mughal Empire. I have already told you, remember the chronology. We have talked about Babur, 1526 to 1530. We have talked about, like, the chronology part. Initial rulers, the great Mughal rulers, they are called. Those rulers are actually very important. You have to focus on them a bit. So chronology is important. We have talked about Babur, 1526 to 1530 AD. We have talked about Humayun, 1530 to 1540 AD, and then 1555 to 1556 AD. We have talked about Akbar, 1556 to 1605. There's a very interesting coincidence. Then you have Jahangir. Jahu Jahu. Don't say Jahu Jahu. He's not your friend. 1605 to 1627 AD. Then you have Shah Jahan, 1627 to 1658. Dates, little bit variation can be there, but not all. Like Shah Jahan. Like, I'm mostly correct. I don't have a like encyclopedic memory, but I'm good. So, Jahangir, Aurangzeb. Till Aurangzeb, you have to remember 1658. My handwriting, oh my god, to 1707 AD. So you see the thing here, Akbar. So these 6 rulers, they are important. After that, you have later Mughal rulers from 1707 to 1857. What was I saying? So Akbar, 49 years, and you have Aurangzeb. Both are names are also starting with A. 49 years. Interesting coincidence, guys. So remember them, and after that, the other rulers you can forget, but their chronology, it's very important. At the same time, keep things in mind, like what is happening, who is ruling in southern India or central India when these rulers are there. So all these things are very important. People these days, there are debates going on related to Mughals, the invaders, barbaric, so and so. When you read about them in detail, you will realize that it is said that these people, they kept us safe from foreign invasions, like these Afghani invasions, so to say, for 200 years. I will tell you, I will make you understand. See, if you see Aurangzeb, 1707, from 1526 to 1707, this period, 1739, Nadir Shah invaded. Nadir Shah invaded. At that time, there was a ruler. His name was Muhammad Shah Rangila, and he defeated Rangila. There was a battle of Karnal which happened. Remember these facts. You see what happened when the Mughal rulers became weak. These people, they came and they plundered us. Mughal rulers, they made India a home, Indian subcontinent a home, and this is the point which you have to keep in mind, because you people are very good boys and very good girls. Battle of Karnal. Karnal, Gurnal, Gurnal, Ishq Mita ho ho. So, 1739, this guy. And then from 1749 to 1761, Ahmad Shah Abdali, he came again and again, almost 8, 9 times to India, ransacked India. So these Mughal rulers, they prevented us from these kind of invasions where they were all about plundering, made India a home. But when the Mughal rulers became weaker, later Mughal rulers were not able to stop these plundering. So remember these facts. Remember Battle of Karnal, Gurnal, Ishq Mita, just like Battle of Karnal. Ibadat Khana at Fatehpur Sikri was, what was it? Was it Chepandis or was it Cheputelsu Ledu? Kadu. I love you na upiriadi poina. I love you na pranam poina. Iti kuntadi prem ki. Iti kunta behito bhusleni bhai ki bhasenduko. Why you people sing these songs? So Ibadat Khan, see, when you talk about Akbar's period, like there are different things which you read in related to Akbar's religious policy, this and that. Chepandis, Chepu. No, not Chepandi, Chepu. You read, there are different phases, guys. I will roughly give you his phases. Like, there is a phase from 1556 to 1573. Initial period, he was consolidating his empire, so he abolished jizya. He was having good relations with Rajputs. This period, and then so consolidating, and he had his own rules to follow in private life, following different things in public life. Then 1573 to 80. During this period, in 1575, he made Fatehpur Sikri, Chepandis, where he was having discussions. He was illiterate, so he used to have discussions with scholars related to what is the purpose here. So, everyone, 1575, Fatehpur Sikri. And then 1581 to 1605, he was like, okay, now I have to talk about Sulh Khul, peace with all these things. And Deen Ilahi, when he has conquered most of the territories. So this was the 3 phase of his religious policies, which you have to keep in mind. Ibadat Khana Hall, in which Akbar held discussions with scholars of various religion. Chepandi. So religious and social outlook, first phase. Although Akbar was under the influence of orthodox ulema, so you see, he abolished pilgrimage tax, jizya, prohibited conversion of prisoners of war to Islam, matrimonial relations with Rajput. So he is somewhat, like he's concerned with what is happening, but at the same time, he is somewhat, he's not going all berserk here, but he has his own beliefs in personal life and he is doing certain stuff in public life. And then he became more and more inquisitive. What is life? What is the purpose of life? Like this cutie pie. Why are we here? So he established this Ibadat Khana where people used to have, he used to have discussions with different rulers. And that also happened because he won a lot of territories. He had a lot of free time to think about these stuff. And when he was like, okay, I got what I needed to, so this is Ibadat Khana. So then the third phase started, where he started talking about monotheism, Tawhid-e-Ilahi. Now, there are different interpretations of Akbar's Deen-e-Ilahi, Sulh Kul, peace with all. And there's a historian, Rumilla Thapa. She compares this whole thing, Akbar's Deen-e-Ilahi, Tawhid-e-Ilahi, with Ashoka's Dhamma. Ashoka's Dhamma, his pillar edicts, we have talked about in ancient history. So just like Ashoka's Dhamma was according to Rumila Thapar ma'am, it was an ideological tool used by him to consolidate his far-flung empire. Same way this monotheism or Tawhid-e-Ilahi or Deen-e-Ilahi, it was not like a religion. He just wanted to unite people. And his kingdom was diverse in so many different ways. So he just wanted to unite them. And that's why he came up with this monotheism or Tawhid-e-Ilahi. So keep these facts in mind. 2019 question, with reference to Mia Tansen, which one of the following statement is not correct? Sometimes UPSC will make not bold, sometimes they won't. So it's your duty to keep these facts in mind and to solve these questions in a proper manner. Chepandis. Let's have a look. Give me a little, let's play holy. I say anything and everything, guys. It's just that because So Mia Tansen, title again, he composed Dhupad of Hindu gods and goddesses. Sarigama Padhanisa, Sanidapa Magaresa. He composed songs, yes, it is correct. Composed songs on his patterns, invented many ragas. Swar, Sarigama Padhanisa. So Tansen was a title given to him by Emperor Akbar. No, Akbar gave him the title of Mia. This Mia. Hey Mia, Mia, Mia. Like, Muhammad Siraj. You people were not born. In our time, there was a baller. His name was Muhammad Siraj. Many people say Mia, 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 Mia. He's a very cute guy, Siraj. So same way like we have given Mia title to Muhammad Siraj, Akbar gave the Mia title to Tansen. Many people say Tansen was his name. It was not the title. Many people say no. He used to work under a Rajput ruler. He gave him that particular title, Tansen. That Rajput ruler was Raja Vikramjit of Gwalior. So maybe this Tansen title was given by him. But Akbar did not give him Tansen title. He gave him Mia. Just like we have given Mia title to Siraj sir. Siraju. He's very cute. I love you now. Where was I? I forgot, guys. So yes, sir. So you can see he was one of the 9 jewels of Emperor Akbar's court. Again, this is a factual question. If you make mistakes in these kind of questions, it's fine. It's not like, it will not be the end of the world. But if you're making mistakes in, like, let's say questions on Ajanta, Mahabalipuram, I will kill you all and eat you alive. I can't do that. I'm not a cannibal, but don't make mistakes in those things. Ajanta, Mahabalipuram, Ellora. There are themes which you're seeing. Whom among the following Mughal emperors shifted emphasis from illustrated manuscripts to album and individual portrait? So earlier they used to make, like, Babar Nama, big gardens they will make, and their photos they will make. Akbar was very good in that. Tuti Nama, Hamza Nama. But then album and individual portrait shift happened during the period of Jahangir. He was the awesome guy when it comes to painting. The most awesome guy, the most awesome Mughal ruler when it comes to paintings. Shah Jahan started copying European style. So, but yeah, Jahangir was the one. Akbar, he was more about manuscripts and all. Like Tuti Nama, Hamza Nama. You will see portraits related to that. So what is Tuti Nama? What is Hamza Nama? Tuti Nama is like there's a parrot. This parrot is singing or telling stories to a girl every night so that that girl does not go to his lover when the husband is not home. This looks scandalous, this whole thing. But yes, that is Tuti Nama. Hamza is the uncle of Prophet Muhammad. It's about his travels, expeditions. So Akbar focused a lot on these manuscripts, Tuti Nama, Hamza Nama. Jahangir was like more on individual portrait. how am I looking from side, side show, this and that. So that is Jahangir for you, rather. So yes, Jahangir is the answer. He is the one who had a, like many people say, there were many paintings which were made by Jahangir, which we have lost. He was a guy who had a lot of knowledge of these individual portrait. So the answer is C. Jahangir, guys. Chepandis, guys. Chepandis. Now, again, this is a question which is important, not impotent, important. Chepandis. Why you people do Chepandis? I will kill you all. With reference to medieval India, which one of the following is the correct sequence in ascending order? Increasing order. Chepu chepu. So you read about Pargana a lot. Santhal Pargana Tenancy Act. When you read modern India, we'll talk about, after this marathon, we'll do modern India. Santhal Pargana, Santhal Rebellion, Santhal Pargana Tenancy Act. You may have heard about that. Munda Rebellion. There also there is means Pargana. Pargana, then Sarkar, then Suba. This is the order. So Pargana is basically, groups of villages, then you have Sarkar, then you have Suba. This is the order of like administrative divisions of Mughal Empire or medieval India, which was there. Pargana smallest, then Sarkar, then Suba. So yes, keep it in mind. Again, a factual information. If you know it, you know it. If you don't, you don't. Santhal rebellion, Santhal Pargana Tenancy Act. What it was, like earlier, tribal lands, their lands were taken by non-tribal people, whom tribal people, many they used to call them Dikus or outsiders or Ravanas. So via this Santhal Pargana Tenancy Act, Chota Nagpur Pargana Tenancy Act, there was a rule which was made, which was made that the tribal people land will not be diverted to non-tribal people. So these were those acts. Again, UPSC has asked PYQs in them. We will have a discussion on them. Guys, keep it in mind. Let's focus what we were discussing. So yes sir, yes sir, yes sir. So Pargana Sarkar, Suba is the answer. Factual question. If you know it, you know it. If you don't, you don't. Sher Shah Suri, now Akbar. Sher Shah Shuri. 1540 to 1545, if I'm not wrong. Grand Trunk Road he made. Like many people are like this, there is like when you read in ancient Indian history, you read about Uttar Path, Dakshin Path. So Uttar Path, route leading to the north. Then you have Dakshin Path, route leading to the south. This Uttar Path later on became Grand Trunk Road. It was not like he made all Grand Trunk. He reorganized. The path was already there. It was followed in in ancient India also. He just refurbished it, whatever you want to call it, made it better. Grand Trunk Road, Sher Shah Suri. His tomb is in Sasaram. Sasaram is in Bihar. And when you go to Sasaram, there's something called as Belgrami. Oh my god, Sasaram. Oh, I should have written Sasaram here. I wrote Belgrami. Oh my god. You know, some of my relatives, sometimes they used to get posted in Sasaram and they used to bring Belgrami. I love that so much. Guys, if any of you is in Sasaram, please send me Belgrami. Belgrami, a sweet dish it is. Although I'm very fitness conscious now. So Uttar Grand Trunk Road, Sher Shah Suri, and he was very good in these, land measurement system, etc. So Aine Dashala, Zapti system, whatever you see of Akbar, he was inspired by Sher Shah. In fact, it is said that Todarmal, whom you see hear a lot during Akbar reign rather, he used to work with Sher Shah, and Akbar was like, he's an awesome guy, so let's bring him here. So Akbar was very, very inspired by Sher Shah and his activities. Although Sher Shah created a lot of problem and ruckus for his father Humayun, even then. And in fact, he was so inspired, or he was so impressed by Sher Shah, that I think he told one of his person who was working for him to write a biography or to write a book on Sher Shah. So yeah, all these things happened. Akbar was influenced by him. Cool, cool, cool. Chepandis. Now, question on Vijayanagar. Like Vijayanagar, especially Bahmani Kingdom is fine, but yes, Vijayanagar, guys, you cannot ignore Vijayanagar. Very, very, very important. Not impotent, important. Vijayanagar, 1336, when Muhammad bin Tughlaq was ruling around Tungabhadra River. Let's focus on this particular question. Let's try to solve it. Whenever you see these questions, pause me to try to solve this question and then unpause me. Just give me a second, guys. Second. Who among the following founded a new city on the south bank of tributary to River Krishna and undertook to rule his new kingdom as the agent of a deity to whom all Chepandis know? All the land south of River Krishna are supposed to belong. Harihar one. And this tributary of River Krishna is Tungabhadra. Tungabhadra. Krishna river. Today I was doing Hindu analysis. There's a Musi river, which is again a tributary of Krishna, flows to Hyderabad. So these rivers are important, guys, because they are in news. So keep them in mind. The answer is Harihar and Bukka. 1336 they established this particular kingdom on the south bank of tributary of river Krishna, that is Tungabhadra. Tungabhadra Dwab. We call it Dwab. Dwab is land between, fertile land between two rivers, that is Dwab. Krishna, Tungabhadra, Dwab. Harihar and Bukka. Memories of the people living in Krishna and Dwab. And Hampi. Hampi is the name of, named after Pampa Devi. Pampa Devi is the name of Parvati Mata. I have already told you all these facts. Vijayanagar Empire, very important. Please revise class 12, chapter 7, NCERT. Very important. So many questions have been taken out of that or from that particular chapter. And also go through these dynasties. Sangam, Saluva, Tuluva, Aravidu. Very important. So 1336, Vijayanagar. 11 years after 1347, Bahmani kingdom. And by the time of Vijayanagar Empire, Krishna Dev Roy, Tuluva dynasty, Bahmani kingdom will disintegrate into Deccan Sultanate. You have, Golconda, Bijapur, Bidar, Berar and all. And then Alia Rama Roy, who was the son-in-law or brother-in-law, you just check it out, of Krishna Dev Roy. He used to ensure that these Deccan Sultanate rulers, Deccan kingdoms, Golconda, Bijapur, Bidar, Berar and all, they were fighting against each other. And then they united and then they fought against Alia Rama Roy. Battle of Talikota happened and Hampi was ransacked. Who among the following rulers of Vijayanagar Empire constructed a large dam across Tungabhadra river? And you can see how many questions UPSC ask on, Vijayanagar Empire, guys. So you cannot take it lightly. Please solve questions. These questions are actually very important. How important? Very important. Just give me a second. So the answer is, I have told you when we were discussing about Devaroy II, Portuguese and all, Devaroy I, he made a lot of tanks and canals because you're talking about southern India, you're talking about peninsular rivers. They don't have water all through the year, like Himalayan rivers when we talk about. They are perennial. Why? Because they get rain, like money, they get river. Oh my God. They get water from rainfall one, they get water from snow also, right? Glaciers also. But on the other hand, when you talk about peninsular rivers, they're getting rainfall, like water from rainfall only one source. So that's why we were talking about in southern India, Dravida style, you have tanks and you need these tanks and canals to ensure you have water all year round. So Devaroy I, he did it. Remember these facts and figures. Devaroy I and important. If UPSC has asked questions, so who are the important rulers? Harihar Bukka will always be important. They are the founders. They are the first. Anything first is very important. Your first love, your first crush, your first this and that. So yeah, Chepande is not Chepande. Oh, so two, and then Devaroy I we have just discussed. Devaroy II. We have UPSC has asked PYQs. Krishna Dev Roy will always be important. He wrote a book called Amukta Malyada. Amukta Malyada. So many foreign tourists came to India. I will give you one mnemonic, which was there in NCERT, FDD. So like when you people will become big enough, 18 plus and all, you may open fixed deposits in bank. FD we call it. So FDD. FDD for, oh my God, what happened here? FDD. For now known as Domingo Paes Duarte Barbosa. All of them came from Portugal. So remember this particular mnemonic. They can ask you from where they were. So these guys, there have so many people. Abdul Razak, he came. It's not like Abdul Razak, Pakistani player. There is an Abdul Razak, he came. He said that after Rome, this Hampi city was the most beautiful city in the world. So all these things were happening, guys. Chepandi, Chepu, Telsuledu, Kadu. Where was I? Forgot. So for now known as Domingo Paes Duarte Barbosa, Portugal, Abdul Razak, so many other people they came. So yeah. Krishna Dev Roy is very important. Alia Rama Roy is very mischievous and cunning, but he was brave also. And you see this Saluva dynasty, Tuluva dynasty. Also remember, they can ask you that Dev Roy II was a ruler of Tuluva dynasty. That would be wrong. So they can even, you see, when you see Saluva and Tuluva, you see an overlap here during certain period when Saluva and Tuluva were ruling. Similarly, an overlap between Tuluva and Aravidu, you see. Because conflicting. In some regions maybe Saluva are ruling, some regions maybe Tuluva are ruling, or they are fighting among themselves. So these things happen. Tuluva Narsanaika is the father of Krishna Dev Roy. So remember these facts and figures and become a very good boy or very good girl. Regarding the taxation system of Krishna Dev. Krishna Dev means Krishna Dev Roy. I love you na upiriyadi poina. I love you na pranam poina. Iti kuntadi prem ki. Aha, aha. So tax rate on land was fixed depending on the quality of land. So what will, like, these are basic general statement, guys. If you see, so what will I fix tax rate on the quality of Shubham Sagar's speech? My name is Shubham Sagar. No. Obviously on quality of land. And these are very awesome kingdoms based on the accounts of Abdul Razak, Domingo Paez, for now known as Duarte Barbosa. Barbosa Duarte. Private owners of workshop, paid industries tax. Yes, both the statements are correct. They are general statements. If you get confused in these kind of general statements, more often than not, they will be correct. But don't kill me if you get these answers wrong. That, sir, you said something and that was wrong. I will kill you, sir, and I will eat you alive. Please don't do that. Don't kill me and eat me alive. If you have already killed me, I am not alive. So how are you eating me alive? You're eating me dead. Whoa, guys, please. Building Kalyana Mandapas was a notable feature in the temple construction in the kingdom of Chepandis. Who was that Chepandi? Cheepu, cheepu, jeebo, jeebo. Guys, why you people do like this? When you people will grow up? So Kalyana Mandapa, I have already told you, Garbhagriha, Mandapa, Mukhya Mandapa, Ardha Mandapa, Dwela, Jagmohana. So before you enter into Garbhagriha, main god, so there are Mandapas. Kalyana Mandapa was used for divine weddings. I am ensuring that Parvati and Shiva, their wedding again, their wedding is happening again. That is Kalyana Mandapa. Used to happen during the period of Vijayanagar. I will show you Vijayanagar kingdom. I will show you a source. And that's why I'm telling you again and again. Kalyana Mandapa meant to celebrate divine weddings in Vijayanagar Empire. Chepandis. You see NCERT class 12 chapter 7. A Kalyana Mandapa meant to celebrate divine weddings. That's why I'm telling you, read NCERT. Most of the questions, directly or indirectly, they are there from NCERTs. You have to read NCERTs. You have to develop your basics. And the sooner you do it, the better it is for you. Chepandi, chepandi. Chepu, pepu, kepu, kopu. Guys, what? Grow up. Don't act like kids. According to Portuguese writer Nunes, I have already told you the mnemonic F, D, D, E. For now, Nunes, Domingo Paes, Duarte, Barbosa, all of them were from Portugal. Fixed deposit plus one more D. The women in Vijayanagar were expert in wrestling, astrology, accounting. Soothsaying means, when I was in I did my BTech from NIT Agartala. Agartala is in Tripura. Yes, some people don't know it, guys. Some people have, I don't know, Northeast. I love Northeast. Okay. So soothsaying is, in our time, I have seen some in my college, some boys, sometimes, the teachers who will teach, there will not be too much age difference between student and the teacher in colleges, engineering college. Guys, let's focus. So there'll be some students who will be like, madam, I want to see your hand. I will tell you when you're getting married or when your heartbreak will happen or not happen. Even though he has no knowledge. Maybe that guy was me, maybe not. I'm just saying that is soothsaying. So you see these things. Even if one woman in Vijayanagar was doing wrestling, doing astrology, accounting, or soothsaying, this statement would be correct. So the probability of all the four being correct is very high. So in these kind of questions, that's why the more questions you solve, the more you realize what UPSC asks, how they ask things, and what we have to study, what we don't have to study, where we have to use smart study, smart knowledge of ours. That comes, smart knowledge does not come out all of a sudden or out from vacuum rather. The more you read, the more you develop these senses that yes, even if one woman is doing wrestling, astrology, counting, soothsaying, the statement would be correct. So yeah, hi. Hi re rabba, jeeta jagata. So in our time there was a song that means oh my god, oh my god. So yeah, all the statements are correct, guys. Now this is a question. You see UPSC loves Mongols, UPSC love Vijayanagar Empire, and UPSC sings this song. I love you na upiriyadi poina, I love you na pranam poina. This is a question of 2024. Solve these questions just like Araghatta. UPSC asked Araghatta, and in 2016 and 25. So who gave permission to Portuguese to build a fort at Bhatkal? Krishna Dev Roy. Krishna Dev Roy, Vijayanagar Empire, their enemies were Bahmani kingdom, and later on when Bahmani kingdom disintegrated, Deccan Sultanate. So they felt like we can make Portuguese our friends to counter Deccan Sultanate kingdoms and rulers. Although there was one period or one time when Krishna Dev Roy was grooming these Deccan Sultanate rulers. And grooming means they used to come to Vijayanagar Empire and they used to get ready for becoming a king. And that's why Krishna Dev Roy is also known as establisher of Yavana kingdom. Remember these facts, written in NCERT, guys. Class 12, chapter 7. Revise it, you will understand. Yavana kingdom, establisher of Yavana kingdom. Yavana, basically, Yavan word has been, UPSC has asked PYQ on it. Yavan is referred to Greek people. There was a PYQ which was asked by UPSC, which was related to Yavan Priya. Yavan Priya means what? Priya is a girl who is Greek. No. Yavan Priya means something which is dear to Yaman, means Greek people, that is spices. Yavan Priya. But here Yavana means outsiders. So these Muslim people, they came after 7th century AD Islam, they came from outsiders. So Yavana is also used for outsiders. And who was the establisher of Yavana kingdom? Krishna Dev Roy. Because these princes of Deccan Sultanate, they used to come and they used to get groomed, but it's not always the same scenario, right? In some situations, they may feel like, no, no, no. These are, we have to we have to have develop some defense mechanism against these Deccan Sultanate rulers. And that's where Portuguese came into picture. So if you see Krishna Dev Roy, 1509 to 1529. When did Portuguese came? Che Pandis, Vasco da Gama, 1498. So always do this chronology. So he was using Portuguese against the Deccan Sultanate. It was not always the same scenario, guys. Portuguese were like bin pendi ka lota. That means, you know, a lota which is without any pendi. I don't know what to say that to that particular stuff, but Portuguese sometimes used to sell good quality horses to these Deccan Sultanate, and many people believe that these good quality horses which were sold to these Deccan Sultanate played a crucial role in the defeat of Vijayanagar Empire in the Battle of Talikota of 1565. So yes, these rulers, these guys, they don't belong to anybody. It's all about opportunities. Just like in international relation we read about, India is close to Russia when we need it. We are close to US when we need it. Same way, Vijayanagar were close to Portuguese when they needed. They were grooming Deccan Sultanate rulers when they needed. So it's all about the time. And where is this Bhatkal port? If you see again NCERT, Krishna Dev Roy saw the Portuguese as potential allies against his rivals, particularly the Deccan Sultanate. He offered them permission to build a fort at Bhatkal. Strategic port city in exchange for military support. Let me show you. Bhatkal. Bhatki jo Bhatki se siri Bhatkal. This is Bhatkal. Map on South India, NCERT. I love you. Which of the following phrases define the nature of Hundi? Hundi. Generally referred to in the sources of post-Harsha period. Post-Harsha, Harshvardhana, 606 to 647 AD. So Hundi is bill of exchange. Bill of exchange means what? Just like you have check system right now. At that time, people used to have Hundi Pundi, Chundi Pundi. So bill of exchange, what happens? Let's say there is a guy, A. He has 10,000 rupees. Oh my god, 10k. So rather than taking this 10k in the rough terrain of different regions where he can be robbed by guard and all, what he will do, he will go to a banker. He will take his 10,000 rupees. Banker will give him a hundi. Now he just have that piece of paper. This piece of paper is nothing to a robber. A robber cannot go to his city, So he has this hundi with him. He has this page with him. He will go to city. In city, he will meet, this is banker 1. He will meet banker 2. He will give banker 2 this hundi and he will get back his money. So that's how this hundi system used to work. Bill of exchange. For a robber, he's like, this is a piece of page. Hey, throw it away. He's like, no, please don't throw it away. Even if it is getting thrown away or it's getting, teared apart, he can just use Fevicol, stick them and show it to banker 2. Bill of exchange, guys. So yeah. That's also a miscellaneous question. In medieval India, the term fanam referred to. So in our time, when you people were not born, there was a movie, Fana for you, Fana. Amir Khan's movie. So Fana means I want to die for you. Here fanam refers to coins. It was used in medieval India. In southern India, you will see this fanam. This is fanam. Coins were called by popular names such as Anna, Sunil Sethi, Anna, Char Time Chokanna. Guys, please be serious. Don't do like this. Cash, dinglo, doklo, do, and then fanam. Fanam was a small coin used in South India between 9th and 19th century. I love you now, Piriyadi. Poina. Guys, why you people do like this? Now, Poina. Just give me a second, guys. So yes, B is the correct answer. With reference to history of ancient India, Bhavabhuti, Hasti Malla, and Chameshwar were famous what? What were they famous for? They were famous for being a good boy or a bad boy or something else or Chepandis. See, again, these are those kind of questions where if you're making mistakes, it's totally fine. These questions is not going to, kill your chances in exam. So yes, sir, I love you. Now, So who are these guys? So these are playwrights. They used to write different kind of plays. If again, I'm telling you, I'm reiterating these facts. There will be some of like bouncers like this, but you can either duck these bouncers or you can play these bouncers. You can hit a pull shot like Rohit Sharma. It's totally up to you. Even if you duck these bouncers, you don't play these bouncers, that means you don't attempt it, it's fine. But if you attempt it and if you get it wrong, then also it's fine. These are playwriters. It's You cannot read about all these playwriters. Maybe in 2021 they were in news, that's why they've been asked. So that's why you can watch my Art and Culture 50 Most Important Current Affairs. Then you will know what are the things which are in news in the last 1 year, 1.5 years. So playwrights, they used to write different kind of plays. Bhavabhuti, major dramatist of later Sanskrit dramatic period. Hasti Malla, Kannada poet, Hoysala kingdom. Hoysalas, they were also awesome when it comes to, Vishra style and all. So yes, sir. Here, when we come talk about Sanskrit grammar and all Sanskrit literature, remember Panini. Panini, I love you. Ashtadhyayi. Sanskrit grammar book. These are things which you cannot make mistake on because it has been asked a lot. Then Amar Simha. This is Sanskrit grammar book, early book. Amar Simha. He wrote Amar Kosh. So these are books which you cannot make mistake on. Otherwise, UPSC will kill you and eat you alive. What else? Devi Chandraguptam, Vishakha Datta, he wrote Devi Chandraguptam. So all these books, multiple questions have been asked by UPSC. So you shouldn't be making mistakes on those questions, guys. And yeah. So yes, again, a question which if you're making mistakes in, it's fine. It's not a big deal. You see this particular question, 2024. There are no parables in Upanishads. Upanishads were composed earlier than Puranas. In the ancient history part, like the ancient history PYQ marathon which we discussed, there I told you certain stuff. What stuff I told you? I told you I love you. Na ipuriyadi poina. So parable, like we discussed, like if we talk about Vedas, 4 parts. If I ask you, people are like 4 parts: Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sam Veda, Athar Veda. No, that is wrong. Every Veda has 4 parts: Samhita, Brahmana, Aranyaka, Upanishad. Since Upanishad is the last part, it is known as Vedanta. Veda plus Anta, Samhita, Brahmana, Aranyaka, Upanishad. So you have 4 Vedas which you keep on, saying like Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sham Veda, Thar Veda. So 4 Vedas, 16 parts. One other mistake which people make is if somebody asks you which is the oldest Veda, Rig Veda, that is not exactly correct. So you have early Vedic period, 1500 to 1000 BC, according to Upinder Singh Map's Ancient Early Medieval India book. And then you have later Vedic period, 1000 to 600 BC. So it is said that this, like each Veda will have 4 parts: Rig Vedic Samhita, Rig Vedic Brahmana, Rig Vedic Aranyaka, Rig Vedic Upanishad. So Rig Vedic Samhita was written in early Vedic period. Rig Vedic Samhita was written in early Vedic period. Rest 15 parts of 4 Vedas, they were written in later Vedic period. So if somebody asks you which is the oldest Veda, Rig Veda is not the correct answer. You can say it, nobody is going to discount you or discard you, rather discount you. It's not about history option per se, but to be more precise, you can say that Rig Vedic Samhita is the oldest part of all the 4 Vedas. That would be correct. So any Upanishad you see, it has to be part of some Veda. That's what I have told you earlier. Parables means what? So I told you, I told you some story, and then at the end I told you, like, daughter or son, beta, beti, what did you learn from the story? That jhoot bolna paap hai, nadi kinare saap hai. That means speaking lie is a sin, and alongside a river bank there is a snake. So this is a parable. Via a particular story, I'm giving you some moral lessons. Another story I told you, and what do you learn? What did you learn? That you have to wake up every day at 4 a.m. and do Gayatri Mantrocharan. Om Bhurvasva Tatsaviturbharenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimai Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. So these are parables stories by which I'm giving you some moral lessons. There are many parables in Upanishad. This is just an extreme statement, guys. No parables. Even if there is one parable in so many Upanishad, this statement will be Wrong. It will be Chepandis and Cheputarasu Ledu Kadu. So first is wrong. You're left with B and D only. Upanishads were composed earlier than Puranas. Yes, Puranas are basically, like Upanishads, they were not allowed to, for a very long period, they were not allowed to be read to by Shudras and women. So they used to read Puranas, Vishnu Puran, this and that, which were basically explanation of these Vedas in extensive form, and they were related to specific deities. So yes, Upanishads were composed earlier than Puranas. Let me show you. So this is again NCRT. If you see NCRT, so what they are saying, they're saying Chepandis, early Upanishads, 6th century BC, 600 BC onwards, they're composed. Oh, and if you see Puranas, 200 CE onwards. So yes, Upanishads are like were composed earlier. So the answer is B here. And it's not only about not reading Upanishad. The condition in later Vedic period of women and Shudras became so bad that later on you read such references that Shudra is at the beck and call of others. Shudra can be made to rise at will, can be beaten at will. Then there are other statements in Manusmriti and all. It says that women should be punished periodically so that she doesn't harbor any evil thoughts. So these kind of statements you hear. Which is sad. And many people also believe that this Upanishad, which is the last part of Veda, which is known as Vedanta, this was also added to counter this whole Jainism and Buddhism argument on rituals and sacrifices. They used to say that Brahmins, they used to focus so much on rituals and sacrifices. Ashwamedha, Vajapeya, Rajasuya, all these, some sacrifices went on for months, if not years. Some sacrifices were only known to Brahmanas, certain Brahmanas, one or two Brahmanas, and this is wrong. So you have, when we talked about Vedas, Samhita, Brahmana, Aranyaka, I think I've told you this in ancient part also, ancient marathon part, PYQs. Samhita, Brahmana, Aranyaka, they are part of something called as Karma Kand, which is focusing more on rituals and sacrifices. Then some part of Aranyaka and some part of Upanishad, or most of the Upanishad, like all of the Upanishad, it focuses on Gyan Kand, focus on knowledge. So basically, many people believe that Upanishad was added later on in Vedas to counter these thoughts of Jainism and Buddhism, that we focus only on rituals and sacrifices. We were there to counter that, no, we focus on knowledge as well. That's why the Gyan Kand Upanishad has been added, which do not, talk much about rituals and sacrifices. Rather, they focus more on Atman and Brahman. So again, interesting analogy, interesting thought, guys. Natya Shastra, Bharat Muni, again, this is important. Charak and Shushruta Samhita. Manusmriti, again, you see this, they're important. First stupas, 3rd century BC, maximum stupas built during Mauryan period. Stupas UPSC has asked PYQs. Stupas associated with Buddhism, but it was there even in Vedic period. Mounds, you have this concept. So it's not like exactly a Buddhist concept, so to say. Keep these facts in mind and become a very good boy or very good girl. UPSC Prelims 2025. This particular question, guys, if you know the answer, you can post it in the comment section. Who among the following led a successful military campaign against the kingdom of Srivijaya, the powerful maritime state which ruled the Malay Peninsula, Sumatra, Java, and the neighboring islands? Who was he? Was he Shubham Sagar? No. So, when you talk about Chola kingdoms, there are so you talk about Sangam age Cholas, right? But here, who are ancient, like who were there in ancient period, 300 BC to 300 AD. Then in early medieval India, you have Cholas, and they were so successful that it is said that Bay of Bengal became the pond of Cholas or something like that. And they were very successful in Southeast Asia. Rajendra I, Raja I, Brihetswar temple at Tanjore. So yes, the answer is Rajendra I Chola. Factual information, Chola kingdoms, it's a known thing. And not only this particular thing, there is an Uttaramerur inscription of these Cholas, medieval age Chola, Uttaramerur inscription, which is associated with Chola king Parantaka I, on which UPSC, especially optional, in option they have lots of questions which has been asked. They can directly ask you Uttaramerur inscription associated with which kingdom. Because the point is, the questions which they ask in UPSC optional today, 5 years after, they will ask you in GS. Uttaramerur inscription, Parantaka I, Chola ruler. It talked about local democratic assemblies. So these Chola rulers of medieval period, they were so advanced. They captured Malay Peninsula, Sumatra, Java, and you see Hinduism influence in these southeastern countries or Southeast Asian countries. And that's why some of the regions are known as Indochina. If you see these regions, of Southeast Asia, etc. They are known as Indochina. Why Indochina? Because there you will see the influence of both Indian culture as well as Chinese culture. And that's why when we talk about India-China relationship, we call it Sino-India, not Indochina, because Indochina is a region, Vietnam, etc. So Sino-India relationship. Uttarameru inscription, Parantaka one, it talks about local democratic assemblies. We see these urban local bodies, rural local bodies right now, 73rd, 74th Amendment. The genesis or the early origin point, you can see it almost 1000 years back, more than 1000 years back in Uttarameru inscription of Parantakavan. So remember these facts, they are really important facts. How important? Chepandi is important, that means very important. I love you. So yes, that's it from me, guys. Like, share and subscribe, and you can share the word. Also, practice a lot of mocks. People keep on asking me that, sir, what we should do in the last period and how we can increase our chances of clearing UPSC prelims. You can see my mark sheets in this channel. You will have an idea. The point is, like around 2018, 2019, I used to get 114, 110 paper one, more than 113 paper two. Paper has become tougher. But what I'm saying is there are certain things which are still the same. There are certain patterns. Like there's one thing, 3210 method. If you want to clear prelims, especially paper one, paper two, you can use this 3210 method. You can search 3210 method. You will get my video, I think, in you know YouTube. So try to follow 3210 method. It will help you in option elimination. Last 60 days from 20th March to 20th May. Solve 60 marks, guys. 60 marks every morning. Try to solve 60 marks, as much FLTs as possible. FLTs means full length test. They will help you a lot. Cool. We'll talk about all the things. If you have any more queries, you can send me a message. Like, share, and subscribe. You are your own competition. You're not competing with anybody else. Keep that in mind. That will help you. And again, if I'm adding to your knowledge base, you can donate at this number. If you want this particular PDF, you can donate, means you can message me at the same number. So all the best from my side. Take care, be blessed. I will see you soon with the Modern History PYQ Marathon. Take care. Bye-bye.